Rama asked, "Holy Sir, please tell me briefly again, how does the delusion of the notions of I and the world arise in the first place without any cause?" This question and questions like it are continually revisited, and I wonder why that should be. Why is this question about how everything arose in the first place? It's constantly revisited. It even seems quite repetitive at times. I think this is a question. When you start asking this kind of question, it's not that we're looking for an answer. It's really a reminder to bring the attention back to itself, to open oneself once again to the field of experiencing, or the stream of experiencing. Open oneself to what is going on right now in this moment without trying to parcel it up into experiences, into opinions about what's going on. So this is what these questions do. So we've got this assumption that there's something we refer to as I, and we've got the assumption there's also something that we refer to as the world. And Rama very clearly says that these are notions. Not just notions, but the delusion of the notions. There's no intrinsic reality to this division between I and the world. So how come we've got this? How come we operate in accordance with this belief? So that's something that we should look at. That's something that we should question ourselves. What do we mean by this term I? What is its relationship with the world? Vasistha replied, "As all things are equally indwelt by intelligence, so at all times and every way the uncreated is all, the self of all. All things are equally indwelt by intelligence." This is something I've addressed before. The notion that we're living in an inert, insentient universe doesn't actually make any sense. It's not a rational belief. Our intelligence arose in this universe. Our intelligence cannot comprehend the universe. It's very complex, way beyond our intelligence, although I think we're doing quite well, but still the universe consistently evades our understanding. So there's something more intelligent than us. Well, what I mean to say is, we're intelligent. That intelligence arose within something. It arose within something we don't understand. So surely that we can call that a greater intelligence. There's a greater intelligence at work here. And that intelligence is in all things. So this is all things are equally indwelt by intelligence. So let's go with that. We use the expression all things. It is only a figure of speech, for only the infinite consciousness, or Brahman, exists. Brahman is just simply another word for the ground of being, the infinite consciousness. Just as there's no division between a bracelet and gold, no division between waves and water, no division between a fist and a hand, there is no division between the universe and the infinite consciousness. The latter alone is the universe. The universe as such is not the infinite consciousness. The universe isn't the infinite consciousness, but the universe is an expression of the infinite consciousness. Just as we refer to a man and his limbs as being one and the same, we refer to the presence of the infinite consciousness as all beings, which does not imply a division in it. In that infinite consciousness there is an inherent non-recognition of its infinite nature. And this is what I call the cognitive process. It is inherent in the infinite consciousness. That appears to manifest as I and the world, just as there is an image in a marble slab, even if it's not been carved. Even so, the notion of I and the world exists in the infinite consciousness. Even as in a calm sea, the waves exist in their potential state, the world exists in its potential state in the infinite consciousness, and that is known as its creation. The word creation has no other connotation. No creation takes place in the Supreme Being or the infinite consciousness, and the infinite consciousness is not involved in the creation. They do not stand in a divided relationship to each other. This infinite consciousness regards its own intelligence in its own heart, as it were, though it is non-different from it, even as wind is non-different from its own movement. At that very moment when there is an unreal division, there arises in that consciousness the notion of space, which, on account of the power of consciousness, appears as the element known as space or ether. Space is just that within which everything appears. That itself later believes itself to be air and then fire. From this notion there arises the appearance of fire and light. That itself further entertains the notion of water with its inherent faculty of taste. And that itself believes itself to be the earth with its inherent faculty of smell, and also its characteristic of solidity. Thus do the water and the earth elements appear to have manifested themselves. It's actually quite arbitrary, this scheme of things. They're trying to base some kind of physics or natural philosophy on this, and that's completely arbitrary. They're concerned to show how the first elements were formed, which is what the physicist does as well. They kind of like to know how hydrogen was formed and how that was the basis for the rest of the elements. So they're trying to do this. The physicist, the writer here is trying to do the same thing, explaining how the elements were formed, but it doesn't really hold any water, and it doesn't really matter. It's basically just saying there's only one thing, and within that one thing everything came to be